Hello there, my name is Jordan Herrick. Today I'm going to talk about story time. This is for my second speech class. My story is going to be about my career as a firefighter and how I've progressed over the years. Got some note cards I'm going to use today, and I got a couple props I'm going to use. Start off with why I chose the story. Well, it's the easiest story for me to tell. It's a story of my life, so I should know it pretty well. It all started with a movie called Backdraft. I don't know if many of you guys have seen it. If not, you should definitely go see it. Obviously, it's a movie about firefighting. It's pretty good. It's got Kurt Russell in it. I used to crawl around, after I watched this movie, I used to crawl around with a Culligan water bottle strapped to my back. It was a canteen web belt my dad gave me from the service. It has like a harness up here, and I attached a Culligan water bottle to the back of it. Had a little plastic fire helmet. I'd go hide a clown somewhere in the house, and I'd go search and find it and pull it out of the fire and save the day. After that, my mom seen an interest in firefighting. She worked with a lady at a hardware store. It was a volunteer. Her name was Angela Shaw. She volunteered at a department called Freeport Fire Rescue. Angela mentioned to my mom about a junior program that they used to do back then. I started going to meetings with Angela at 10 years old. She was my sponsor. To be in the junior program, you had to be 11 years old with a sponsor, an active sponsor of the fire department. So at age 10, I started going, hanging out with her, seeing what the meetings were all about. The meetings were the first Tuesday of every month. And basically you just talk about what's been going on, what calls you've had, what trainings are going to be coming up. I officially joined January 15th, 2001 at age 11. My junior firefighting duties. Basically we were allowed to go to the station and hang out as long as there was supervision was there. We could go to trainings, participate in the monthly trainings. The only calls we could attend were fire calls, like actual fire calls. We weren't allowed to go to medicals or MVAs. The reason for that is the MVAs usually, that stands for motor vehicle accident. Usually there's some pretty gory stuff there, and you're exposed to a lot of traffic, a lot of hazards, and they didn't want somebody that young being exposed to that kind of stuff. Same with the medicals. When you're that young, you really don't have a lot of medical training, so they don't want you exposed to all the, once again, gory stuff that you might see. My first fire I went in, though, I was age 14. We got a call for a structure fire, and there was possibility of a baby that was left inside. It was an arson, so the person that actually lived there set the house on fire. Normally at age 14 you weren't supposed to be going in and stuff like that, like a real situation like that. We were more for like the gophers on scene. Say if a firefighter needed something, they would send us to go get it. So we're going to this call, and there's only 3 of us on the truck. It takes one person to run the pump. Without that, you don't have any water in your hose lines. So the driver was going to do that. There was another guy up front, and there was me in the back. And we're going to this call, and we heard that there was possibly a baby inside. And he looked over and he told me, he's like, "Hey man, put your mask on. You got to go in with me." So I was pretty excited. So we get there, we go in, we search the house. There was nobody inside. The baby apparently, I guess the people weren't home. They just thought that there was a chance that she may have left the baby inside intentionally. So that was pretty cool. That was like the initial start for me. I was really hooked then. I volunteered with Freeport until I was 16. I moved to Michigan with my mom. When I got up there, they didn't have a junior firefighting program. So I had to wait. Until I moved back to Florida, which I did. I moved back after I graduated with my girlfriend. I attended college at Gulf Coast Community College in Panama City Beach. When I moved back, while I was going to college, I also joined back up with Freeport. It really influenced my girlfriend to join with me. I was going to all these meetings and calls, and I was gone all the time, so she was like, "Well, hey, I want to go with you." So she ended up coming with me, ended up joining, and she actually did a lot of stuff I did. The college I attended, it was a fire academy. I went there for 8 months. I went 4 nights a week from 4 to 10 p.m. At the end of it, you have to take a state test. You have to do a bunch of crazy stuff like raising ladders and deploying hose lines, putting your air pack on under a minute. So after I passed that, I was good. I got received my certificate to be a Florida State firefighter. So yeah, about a month out of training, I got hired at Freeport Fire Rescue, which is the same department that I'd worked at, volunteered at when I was younger. I worked there for actually about a year as a paid firefighter. Management didn't turn out to be too well, so I then went and volunteered at a place called Walton County Fire Rescue. While at Freeport, when I left there, this was actually my original helmet that they gave me. See, it says Junior Firefighter, and they gave us red helmets. That way they knew by the color of the helmet, you know, this guy's under age 18, so we can only do so much. And the department logo is in the front there. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. It says Freeport Fire Department. When I went to Walton County Fire Rescue, they had a little different style helmets, but I volunteered with them for a couple years. This is what they wear on their helmets. And it's basically just a leather shield that goes in the front of your helmet. When you get on scene, there's a lot of people there, you know. I usually look for this kind of stuff to see, you know, kind of not really who's on your side, but, you know, who works with you, so you try and keep your crews together. Once I volunteered at Walton County Fire Rescue for, like I said, a couple months. Then I decided to join the Air Force to become a firefighter. They had a lot better benefits. You know, as a volunteer, you don't get paid, so a lot better benefits and a good retirement if you stick it out for 20 years. Since I've been here, you basically start off from the very bottom, which is considered tailboard or the back seaters of the engine. That's usually your plugman and your lineman. Plugman, you're the guy that catches the hydrant. Lineman, you're the one that pulls the line, the hand line, and goes into the fire. Since then, I've moved up from the tailboard to a driver operator, which the driver operator drives the truck to and from the fire scenes and operates the fire pump while there's a fire going on. From there, it just continues to go up. You have your crew chief, who is in charge of the truck and in charge of your crew while on scene. Station captain, who is in charge of the station and pretty much all the people within that station. And then you have your assistant chief of operations, who is usually in charge. In my department, we only have one station, so he's just in charge of everything. He's above the station captain. And then this is an old logo. I don't have my current shield, but this is what they used to wear. And if you notice, like at the bottom here, it usually tells the department you're at, like this one. This one was at the top, so it's a little different. It says Walton County Fire Rescue, and this one's at the bottom. Each department, they usually choose how they want to make their shields. My current one's at the fire station around my helmet. I couldn't take it home with me, so I just used the old one. My future plans, I definitely want to become a fire investigator. I want to stick with the fire career. Fire investigators usually they investigate vehicle accidents, arson. Sometimes they have a chance or choices to get dogs, do arson dogs or cadaver dogs, which search for dead bodies. In order to do that, I probably have to get out of the military. They don't really have fire investigators for enlisted personnel. For military service, I have 4 years left to decide whether I want to stay in or get out. And that's pretty much the end of my story. My story went over the career, my firefighting career, and the story of my life. I hope you guys all enjoyed and have a wonderful night.